So today I'm going to do a mixture of little sections to make up one big massive class. So basically what I recommend you do is start off with the warm-up first. That's essential. Okay, please do not go into other sections without having done the warm-up. Once you've done the warm-up, you can then move into either the stability section or the mobility section. And then you finish off with the cool down. So if you want a short class, for example, you might do the warm-up, followed by the stability, then the cool down. Or you might do the warm-up, followed by the mobility and the cool down. If you fancy doing a little bit of longer class, then you can string the sections together. You could do the warm-up, the stability, into the mobility, or the other way around, and then cool down, okay? So whatever you do, you'll always do the warm-up as your first section and the cool down as your last section. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to come to lay on our back in what we call usually a supine position. So from here, I just want us to think about where our body is, just like we do when we're in a class situation. So we're feeling where our toes are connected to the floor. We're aware of our feet, of our heels, of all the bones in the feet that are connected to the floor. We're then thinking about the knees hip width apart, drawing up through the pelvic floor, so the front and the back passage, just a gentle 20% effort, 20-30%. We're then thinking about the belt muscle, drawing in. So imagine you've got 10 notches on your belt, you're just going to gently draw in to about the second or the third notch on that belt. From there, take the mind towards the breath. So in Pilates, I speak a lot about breathing east and west. And as long as you can feel the rib cage expanding as you're breathing in and out, that's what we're aiming for. But we're aiming to keep the abdominals gently drawn in. The shoulders, you can raise the shoulders up towards the ears, slide them down towards your hips, very gently. So you've got a long swan neck. And have the eyes directly looking towards the ceiling. So from here, we're going to start with an ab curl first, curling up through the top half of the body. So I want you to follow a rainbow. Imagine there's a rainbow along the ceiling, going all the way down towards your knees. You're going to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just gently lift, follow the rainbow over the knees, and then come back to the mat. Let's repeat that. Breathe in, exhale, lift. If your head aches, then bring the hand towards the back of the head. Breathing in, breathing out, lifting up. Be mindful that as you lift up, I'm going to exaggerate here, that you don't tuck and curl the pelvis. Keep your lower spine, your coccyx, rooted through to the earth, hooked into the mat. Let's switch arms. If you're using the arm, inhale, exhale, lift, and softly come back. Keep repeating that. Inhale, lift. Rib cage drawn down towards the pelvis without tucking the pelvis. And again, lifting up, coming back down. And let's take one more, lifting up, coming back down, and then from there, just softly turn the head from side to side, and then come back to your center point to find the alignment on the ceiling again. And then from here, we're going to just keep an eye on those shoulders, keeping the chest open. And we're going to take a gentle breathe in, exhale, allow the legs to roll to one side and come back to center. So softly just rolling from one side to the center, like so. If you wish to, you can obviously have your arms out to the side. And again, it's up to you to judge where you can take the knees. If you feel too much pull on the lower back and it's uncomfortable, then decrease the range of motion. For some people, they feel fine just to allow the legs to flop and it doesn't feel like it's pulling too much through the back. And again, being mindful of any back conditions you may have, decrease the range of motion to about 45 degrees. So we're actually here just rotating through the mid-spine, a little bit like a wringing out effect with a dishcloth, just gently just working through that mid-back. If you wish to, you can bring the feet together. Just experience the change of where the foot position is. And decide yourself which one feels better for your body. If you can allow yourself to roll a little bit further, just to feel the stretch through the oblique muscles here on the side of the torso. Just allowing the breathing to flow naturally. If you really want to get into the breathing, that'll be inhale to go down, exhale to lift, because that's where the legs are at their heaviest. You need to exhale now, help to a certain degree to help to bring the legs back to center. So once we've done both sides equally, we've done quite a few reps there, which is nice, just to mobilize through that spine. We're going to come to the lower spine. So place the hands beside the hips, feet flat on the floor, knees pointed towards the ceiling. Eyes directly above you, chest relaxed as you're breathing in and breathing out. From here, double check the legs aren't too far away, because we're going to move into a pelvic tilt and up into a lumbar roll. Now, if you feel that you need to just stretch out beforehand, we can do a little bit of a leg extension here, just working through the legs, mobilizing. If you just want to keep a foot just relaxed here, okay, so there's no pointing, or just gently flex the foot. And we're getting into the hips, the knees, stretching out through the knees, and then also coming into the ankle joint as well. And then just gently pushing that through towards the ceiling. So you're feeling the grounding down of the pelvis into your mat and the elongation of the leg through the back of the leg and through the heel towards the ceiling, or just softly through the toes towards the ceiling, depending which method you're using. Obviously the heel is more intensity. We're just trying to really lengthen and open up through the back of those legs. So one more on that left leg, and then we'll finish there and we'll move into our lumbar roll. So from here, setting the feet up where you feel they need to be, not too close, yeah, not too far away. So deep breath in, exhale and begin to curl. So just a small curl to begin with. And as we curl to begin with, I want you to keep the buttocks nice and loose. So we just end up mobilizing through the lumbar spine. So for some of you, this may be a good place to kind of stay, just this lumbar rolling here. You can then come higher towards the lower thoracic area. So we're moving up towards those lower 10th, 11th, 12th ribs here. So working our way up. And then if you wish to, obviously squeeze the buttocks now and focus more to lift the hips. You extend through the hip, push through the hands and softly come back down. So we're still mobilizing through that spine. Our intention is not to create a lot of intensity here. You'll still feel, obviously, your muscles working and contracting to support the hips as they go up. Keeping that breath flowing, checking in with the shoulders here. Deep breath in. Exhale, float and press through the arms to give you some assistance. If you feel it pulling too much through the knee, take the feet away a little bit. Good, let's take one more when you're ready. Deep breath in, exhale, curling through. And then coming back down again. Good, from here, slowly releasing. Let's come into our double knee folds or single knee folds. So I'll start with the single knee fold, and then if you wish to, be mindful of any spine conditions, we can then move to a double knee fold. If it's too much, please stick with the single knee fold. So from here, we take a deep breath in, exhale, we raise the right leg up to a tabletop position, and then we gently float back down again. Inhale, exhale, floating through with the second leg. So I'm just working here through hip knee flexion, and extending the leg back towards the floor. So I'm keeping a check-in with the stability of my pelvis. I want to ensure that there's kind of no dipping or kind of rocking around. There'll be a little bit possibly, especially as you change over from one side to the other, but it's got to be minimal. I really want to think about the stability of the pelvis as we just work through that leg. Again, we're just warming up through these hips here, but we're keeping our Pilates concentration and our awareness of what our body is doing as we're doing that. So I'm going to progress onwards. If you want to stick with the one leg option, the single leg, that's fine. Just keep traveling. Make sure the heel goes down between each single leg lift. So from here, progressing on to the double leg lift, remember to help keep the spine even in a stronger position, you can do what you call imprinting. So you'll breathe in, imagine you've got your pieces of string between your ribs and your pelvis. You'll exhale. As you exhale, slide the ribs, breathing out towards the hips, and then maintain this connection. Avoid letting kind of like the ribs kind of flare towards the ceiling. So keep that rib to hip connection. You then raise the one leg up to the tabletop. Inhale, exhale, check that rib to hip connection, and raise the second leg off. The right leg goes back down and the left leg goes back down, and repeat again. Up, rib to hip connection, up, down and down. Rib to hip connection again, keep checking in, up, up, down, down. And then go with the other left leg leading, okay, to keep the body and the mind balanced, as I say. Up, up, down, down. The heels connect back to the floor every time. It's a warm-up, it's not an exercise, this one at the moment. Okay, so we're just mobilizing through the hips, thinking about the stability through the ribs, the spine, and the shoulder girdle. Down, down. When you're ready, just softly extend out, take a stretch if you feel that you need to. I'd like you to roll round to your side and come up to a seated position. We're just going to finish off with the mermaid from side to side. So from here, hands come beside the body. Now, as you're sat here, think about sitting back onto your sit bones. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to raise the right arm up and over towards the ceiling. Inhale and exhale, stretch, coming back. Inhale and exhale, stretch, coming back. Keep floating. The legs can either be straight out in front, bent or straight, or crossed like mine. It's entirely up to you. Feel the stretch through the side of the body as we mobilize through the spine sideways. So try not to rush it too much. Try and get through. Think about the quality of the movement, yeah, rather than, you know, rushing it and missing out on the best bits, which is that lovely, nice stretch to the side. If you wish to, you can hold that there just for a couple of breaths if that feels nice. If it doesn't, just keep floating from one side to the other and then come back. And then inhale, exhale, float over to one side. Keep that pause there, and then softly come back through again. Take a deep breath in and relax the shoulders down. And then we go into our stability phase or into the mobility phase, whichever one you choose. So now we're coming into our strength kind of stability phase for the spine. So let's get started. We're going to start on our backs. We're going to check in again with the spine, feet, knees, hip width apart. It's always important to think about the body before you start the exercise, so you're thinking of good posture. So feet are flat on the floor, pelvis is nice and stable here. We've opened out through the chest, we've warmed up through the body in the first phase, and the eyes are looking up towards the ceiling. So from here, we're going to kick in straight into our first exercise, which is the 100. So this is for core and lumbar strength. We're going to breathe in, exhale, raise the right leg up to a tabletop position. So this will be our first option today. You can have the head lifted or you can have the head down. You can breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can turn the palms over. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep pumping, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the palms are down, and then the palms are up. So that's 3 breaths. We're going to take 2 more. Think about that rib to hip connection here as well, and the shoulders being open, and the breath is flowing. And then last pumps, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release the leg back to the mat. Go on to the other leg. So you will feel a little bit of work through that front of that thigh. And again, set the body up, rib to hip connection, pelvic floor engaged. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep pumping, keep counting, feeling the length of the spine out through the top of the head and also out through the sit bones. Feel it lengthening away. Good. Do it around 2 more rounds. So we've done 50 pumps or 5 breaths. Shoulders nice and steady. Core engaged. Draw the belly button in. And then slowly arms to the mat and leg to the mat. Then we progress onwards. So if you feel that you need to, I now want you to do 5 more breaths with the right leg up or 5 more breaths with the left leg up. For those of you who wish to progress further, we're going to take both legs up, one at a time though. So right leg comes up, rib to hip connection, and left leg comes up. We pump, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. The head can come up as well. And you can even straighten the legs if you wish. Okay, for those of you doing one leg, you're doing 5 on one leg and then 5 on the other. The rest of us, if you're doing 2 legs, we can do 80 to 100 pumps today. But if that's too much, you can always put your head back to the mat and you can always bend your legs as well. Okay. So always think about regressing the exercise if the intensity becomes a little bit too strong. Double check in with the length of the legs, make sure they're nice and even. Pumping away, drawing the belly button in towards the back. Let's complete the last round of breath. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Head comes back, arms come down, legs bend, and one leg back to the floor at a time. Let's flow straight into that shoulder bridge. So we're going to ease out the muscles that we've just worked through the hips. Inhale, exhale, articulate through the spine. Halfway or up to full bridge and back down. And again, let's take 3 more of those. Inhale, curl through the spine. So this could be your first option today, just working through the lumbar roll. And as you mobilize through that spine, you need to think about activating those gluteal muscles as you come up, because they're going to help to give you that lift up through the pelvis and to extend the hips as well. If you wish to progress it, then we're going to go up with the heel off. So if not, stay with the lumbar roll. We come up, we then take the heel off, ball of the foot stays down. And then we slowly articulate back through the spine to the mat. Go up the other side, inhale, exhale, curling through that spine. Keep that those knees together. Press through the big toe as you come off with the heel and then back to your mat. So you can keep repeating the heel off, but I'm going to progress it further. Inhale, exhale, curling up through the spine. Find your stability. When you're ready, take the leg up to tabletop. Gently bring it back, avoid dropping the hips. Inhale, exhale, slowly come back to the mat with control. And again, inhale, exhale, peeling that slow spine off the mat, steady as we go. Hips, check in here, lift through. Try to avoid dropping one of the hips. It's usually the leg that you lift the hip drops. And coming back like butter on toast melting. And again, deep breath in. Exhale, folding up. Right leg off. If the hamstrings start to ache, it may be that you're not utilising your gluteal muscles enough. So think about working through the glutes. If you need to, take a bit of a hamstring stretch in between as we're travelling, okay? It's absolutely fine to take a little bit of a release out. Coming back, inhale, exhale, curling back through the spine. Let's take that one more each side. Inhale, exhale, lift through those hips, press down through the arms to give you support. Taking the leg to tabletop, coming back, hips level, slowly articulate segmentally with control. Allow the breathing to continue to expand and move with the movement. Lifting off with control. If you get tired, just come with the heel off instead. Softly coming back through to the mat. Take the right leg into the air and extend it out. You can use the hand behind the back of the leg to assist. Pause here just for 2 or 3 breaths. Slowly release and take it back on the other side. Breathing in, breathing out. Softening through the shoulders. And then from there, just take a little bit of a twist. Just a gentle side-to-side motion. And now we're going to go into the one leg stretch. This again is very much for core and lumbar strength. So they're all good exercises, you know, to help stabilize the back. So from here, we're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to just prepare with the first stage. And the first stage is to take the leg out. So both thighs are parallel and then bring it back in again. So you push the leg out and back in. So you could do a few repetitions, sort of like, I'd definitely say about 5, 8, 10 reps each side, you know, so you get some sort of strength gains through it. And you're thinking about elongating that leg. Now, I usually point my feet a lot anyway, so ignore that. It's the dancer years in me, but try and think about just having a soft elongation through the foot, okay? If you feel like you need to, maybe you've got tight Achilles like me, you might just do a little bit of a stretch now and again through that leg. And also to engage that thigh muscle. When you're ready, bring the foot back down. We're going to go to the other side. Inhale, exhale, raise the next leg off. Out we go. Stretch it away. Stretching through that leg. Feel the front of the thigh engaging as you stretch the leg, and the quadricep muscles actually engage here. Feel the length through the spine and keep the breath flowing as well. Have an awareness through the pelvis and the pelvic floor lifting. Especially as you exhale and the leg goes out, think about that pelvic floor, front and back passage lifting through. And then when you're ready, you can repeat that again with the right and the left leg. Or if you wish to make it a little bit more challenging, we come up with 2 legs off and we extend one leg away and the other. And we switch. As the leg extends out, you breathe out. You can bring the upper body up and you can stretch the arms away. You can even hold on to the shin if you wish to, and you just lengthen away. If the head gets tired, put the head back onto the mat instead, stretching away for the one leg stretch. So head down here, or you can bring the arms back to the mat. Okay, so we're only just pointing up, just as a slight angle towards the ceiling, maybe towards the corner of the room. Stretching the leg away. We'll do one more each side. If you're doing the single legs, make sure that you have actually swapped over to do the other side. Good. And then slowly, gently bring those knees in and release off. Float round towards the front. And we're going to work into our side kick. So you're going to need something underneath the head here, such as a cushion, or you can lengthen your arm away. The bottom leg can be bent for a little bit of stability, not too bent, all right, because it does make it, does take some of the work out of the exercise a little bit too much, or just have it slightly bent or dead straight. So from here, we're just going to lift up with the top leg, and then we're going to flex the foot and draw it down. Now the reason we're doing this is as you flex, you'll probably feel that the hip will move away a little bit. So we have a soft foot coming up and a flex foot coming down. And we're just trying to create length through the body here. Just a few of those, about 5 or 6 reps here, working through. And then when you're ready, you're going to lift off that top leg and you're going to swoop it forwards and back and forwards. Obviously you can bring the leg a lot further forwards, you can feel that yourself. Forwards and back. So as you bring the leg forwards, you can flex the foot. As you take it back, you can softly elongate that foot. Now you may notice that the top shoulder rolls forward. Try to keep that back. If you have a block or a book, you could put your hand a little bit higher or have a couple of stacks of books, okay? As you then bow forwards with the leg and draw the leg back behind you. We can add in the double pulse and then point back. So it's pulse, pulse, just the end range of that movement, just to stretch gently through the hamstring. Good. So again, about 8 to 12 reps here as we go through. Last time, and then we're going to move round on to our swan dive exercise. So you're coming round, straight round onto your front. You need a capital E with your arms here, maybe a cushion or a block underneath the forehead. I want you to lift the legs up and just walk the legs away from you a little bit, just to open out those hips. And then from here, keeping the forearms down on the floor, we're going to start with a small back extension. You're going to breathe in to lift and exhale to come down. Keep repeating that a few times. Imagine you've got the string on the sit bones and they're pulling down towards your heels. So it's taking some of the pressure out of the spine, lifting up and coming down. Draw the belly button in towards the spine to give a little bit of support here. Keep the shoulders down and stabilize, so avoid wearing the shoulders as earrings. From here, we're going to lift off with the arms now, so you can keep the arms down if you feel it's better for your back. Coming up, inhale and exhale down. So inhale is going to lengthen your spine, and then exhale to release. If you wish to progress it, you come up, extend the arms away, bring the arms back, and then go back down. If you're getting tired, come up onto all fours and go into a cat release and just round off the back. Now as you do the exercise, keep the elbows down towards the floor as well. So avoid the shoulders coming up like this and the elbows coming up, yeah? Think about elongating, swan neck, hence the name of the exercise. So I'm going to take a couple more. If you can't, just go into the cat release and ease out. Good. Breathe in, lifting off, exhale. Inhale the arms back, exhale to the mat. Softly come up, round off through the spine. If you want to, you can mobilize by consistently moving the spine, if that feels better. So you inhale to extend, exhale to round. So now we're going to go on to the other side of the side kick. So what I would suggest is, last time we had our heads this way, this time we're going to have our heads this way, so you can actually keep your eyes on the video as we go through. So again, your hand can be underneath your head or extended away. Feet are long lengthened, so a slight bend in that bottom leg, not too much. So from here, hand in front. Now the hand can go on the blocks or the books if you've got any, to keep that shoulder back and stabilised. Draw the abdominals in, lift up through the waistline. 20-30% effort here, not too much. Breathe in, lift the leg, exhale, bring it down. Pointing up, exhale, bring it down. So again, not too high, because the aim is leg length, not lift, yeah? So we're just trying to lengthen the leg. We're trying to lengthen through those muscles. Get very, very tall here. Lifting through, stretching through the leg as well to make the leg muscles work. Keep the breath flowing. Whoops, nearly flexed up then. Point down, point up, flex down. And then when you're ready, lifting the leg and swooping it forward. So we've got the toes to the nose and back. So you could start with a small range of motion to begin with, and then progressively increase it. So inhale, exhale, inhale back. Exhale, inhale back. So again, you can do the double pulse. We want to do about 8 to 12 reps. Keep the breath flowing, ribs widen forward that breath. Neck long and lengthened. You're going to feel some work through the core as the leg comes forwards. And again. Good. And then when you're ready, come in. So from here you can now go into your cool down, or you could actually go into your mobility phase if you feel like you want to lengthen the class a little bit more. So the mobility main phase there, or the cool down. So hopefully you have worked through your warm-up, your stability, your mobility phases, or just stability or just mobility, and now you've come to your cool down phase. So we're going to start by stretching out and just finishing off, relaxing that body after our session. So you may want to use a band or a yoga strap or a towel. We'll start with the hamstring stretch to begin with. So you're going to take the foot into the band or the strap. Now the bottom leg can be bent or straight. We're just going to softly feel the elongation through the back of the leg first. We're feeling the stretch through that right leg. And we're just holding it there and registering that feeling of that stretch, allowing it time to kind of adjust and accept that length. And then when we're ready, we're going to just take a soft breath in, exhale, and see if you can stretch the leg a little bit more. So if your leg is bent, you're aiming to straighten it first. If it's already straight, then you can just slightly bring it over the body. And just softly holding that there, allowing the breath to be very soft. So we're not trying to hold the breath here, it needs to keep the flow going. Inhale, exhale, stretch it a little bit further. And then when you're ready, swapping it over to the other leg. Just while it's there. So the bottom leg can be bent or straight. So start with recognizing and having an awareness of the stretch first. Breath in, breath out, soft breaths here. Then when you're ready, take a deep breath in and exhale to stretch it a little bit further. So again, just to recap, if the knee's bent, you're aiming to straighten it first. It may only move a little bit, that's fine. If the leg is straight, then you may bring it over your actual body towards you. And just registering, if you start shaking, please ease off. It's going a little bit too far, it shouldn't be shaking. And if it feels uncomfortable anytime, come out of it as well. Good, slowly bend through that leg. Now we're going to stretch through the gluteals. So we can take, you can still keep your band handy here actually. Okay, that's absolutely fine, or your towel. So if you are going to take it a little bit further, you wrap the band around the leg. Okay, all right. And then from here, we can also just hold this stretch just by keeping the bottom foot on the floor and placing the hand on the inner thigh. Okay, just like that. You don't actually need the strap for this. I'm just getting ready for the next phase of this stretch. You could actually bring it up onto the toe, so it brings it a bit closer towards you. You can actually turn the leg out a little bit more. Oops, if you don't lose the leg. And then if you wish to, you can actually bring the leg up here, or if that is too much, you can wrap the band around the leg here, just to bring it in. Or you can even hold it with your hands if you feel like you've got a bit of a grip there. Just be careful as well that you pick the option of the stretch that suits your body best. If it feels uncomfortable, go back to the one where you were here instead. So keep the breath flowing. Again, if that feels nice, you could develop the stretch. Breathe in, exhale, just bring it in a little bit closer. Again, as I say in class, it may be that I don't see you actually pull it in closer. It could be so subtle but that you can feel it, so be mindful. And when you're ready, slowly release off, and we'll go to the other side. So we come over, just to recap, left foot onto the knee, left hand onto your inside left knee. Stretch. If you wish to progress it further, you bring the right foot up onto the ball of foot, and that gives you a chance to push out the leg a little bit more. If you wish to come into your hip rotators, lateral hip rotators a bit more, you can use the band around the leg, hands around the thigh, or hands around the shin. Depends on how this knee's feeling really as well. And again, just feeling that awareness. So from one side to the other, it may feel a little bit tighter or easier, which is quite normal. And then if you want to stretch it a little bit further, breathe in, exhale, bring it in and hold for a few more seconds here. If it feels uncomfortable at any time, just simply put the leg back down on the floor. And when you're ready, slowly release. Okay, and then we're just going to open up the legs into a little bit of a stretch here, with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. Just allowing, and again, if you can feel that's pulling through that pelvis, just bring the hands underneath here and just allow it to, the hands sit on the top of the fleshy part of the gluteal muscles, the bottom muscles. And then when you're ready, come over onto the side. We're just going to stretch through the front of the leg. So again, if you can't reach down to the ankle, just place the hand here, bring the knee in towards the chest, place the hand below the shin, run it down the leg a little bit, and then just take the leg away as far as you feel that you can. Just feeling that stretch through the front of the hip. The last stretch that we just did anyway does do the hips as well, so that's a bonus. If you cannot feel, you can get into this position. Always thinking about that breathing, because it's so easy to hold it. When you're ready, slowly release off, and then just bring the arm forwards and back. Just softly open up through here. So again, if you don't like holding this next stretch, I would thoroughly recommend that you just keep moving through this movement. And if you're ready, then you can allow yourself to stretch and hold the chest open. I wouldn't do this with kind of spinal conditions such as osteoporosis, holding for too long. If you're going to hold, bend the arm and decrease the range of motion that you're twisting. So you just open out a little bit to the side, not go into a full massive rotation. Just come back, and then from here we'll come up to seated. We'll do the other side in a moment, and I just want us to round through the back here and stretch away as if you're hugging a big teddy bear. So you're just allowing yourself to really kind of sink down a little bit, bring those arms forward. Breath into that back, and then release. Come round to the other side. We'll do the hip first. Hand, knee into chest, hand onto knee, run the hand down the leg, and slowly take the leg away. Remember, you can also, I didn't mention this on the other side, but you can use a band around the leg as well, just to hold there. If not, the last stretch where we did the butterfly was stretching and opening the hips anyway. Just feeling stretch through the front of the thigh, possibly you'll feel it into the hip as well. Allowing the breath just to flow really nicely here. And then when you're ready, relax that down and come into our chest opener. So we're opening and closing. So opening and closing. And if you're happy to hold that stretch, remember I said on the other side, you just decrease the range of motion for any spinal conditions. So you might just open here, hand on the shoulder, or if you want to go into a deeper stretch, if there's no conditions, and you're feeling okay, you can open up into a full stretch. Focus on breathing into that rib that's facing up towards the sky. And slowly come back over. And from here, we're just going to come up into box position. Again, rounding through, inhale, exhale, round through, inhale back, exhale, round. And you can keep mobilizing, or you can actually hold the stretch. Slowly release, come up to a seated position, legs bent or straight in front or crossed, and just reach over to one side to feel the stretch through the side of the body here. Stretching away. Deep breath in, up and over, coming over to the other side. Inhale, exhale, stretching through that other side. And coming back through. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed your class today.